Hi all. Hi all. Good morning. Hope all doing good. Just allow me a moment. I'm pulling out my PPT. Today we'll be doing less of PPT. We'll be doing a lot of hands-on because it is an abstract topic today. So I felt like we'll be using. Pradeep, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, which is good
How are
morning.
you doing?
Yeah, fine. Yesterday, I'm not attending the class. Sorry.
You didn't attend the class?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Yesterday we covered, I believe, the concept of triggers, and it is quite an important topic from the perspective of interview. I would say trigger. Did you go through the recording yet?
Yeah, yes. Raghava,
Yeah.
my question is,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, basically you prepare like most important like 15 to 20 SQL questions. Once normally is every question is asking in interview, but
Hmm.
like highest and the second highest
So let
max.
me tell you the concept how I'm planning. In that way, you get the clarity. We are going to
Yeah,
cover.
I am some experienced person, but I am basically interview here and some communication. Like I am attending last two, three interviews in last two, one, one, 1 month before. He is
Huh.
asking mainly ranking functions and max
Today
min.
we'll cover that.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, you prepare any scenario like 20 to 30 questions is good.
Okay. There is no 20-30 question. Pradeep, how many years of experience you have?
Yeah, I am 4 years of experience.
You have 4 years. Okay. Let me tell you how I'm going to prepare you well. You have
Yeah,
now you are aware about all the concepts of SQL, right?
yeah,
How to
yes.
write the
But
DQL,
the procedures I
CQL,
am not.
procedure, function. If you have not go through it, because that is the most important concept, right? If you have missed it, pay attention to go through the video. If you go through the video line by line, everything is recorded. You have the best power. Even if you miss it, you have the video power, right? Go and play it
Yeah,
out. If you still have doubt, don't worry, because we will still practice the similar kind of procedure. It will not be the exact same of SQL Server in Postgre as well. You will understand the concept then. That is coming
yeah,
upcoming week. But if you
yeah,
have missed it, I will highly recommend, if you have missed any session of the procedure, please go through it. Because the
yeah.
reason being, not only it is important from the interview concept, but your day in, day out job depends upon
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
procedure.
My last
Right?
project, I am seeing some synapse. In
Correct.
synapse, some things or procedures are developed in DML
Correct.
procedures.
Azure Synapse, if you are using Azure Synapse Analytics, definitely leverage SQL procedure or SSIS packages with whatever you want to actually integrate within in between, or maybe Python Scala, whatever you want to integrate within. You can do it, but leveraging SQL proc using SQL Server as an backend engine is the best technology when you are going for the Azure Synapse Analytics.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me complete my question. Let me complete my answer so that you come to know about it. I'm anyways going to hand off 400 odd questions,
okay.
interview high frequency question with the answers. Okay. Even if I would still say understand every concept, there is no way you can skip it because you are not mugging up the interview question and going and answering. I want my students to answer confidently whatever I explain line by line the same, right?
Yeah,
Understand the
okay.
concept and you will be handed off with 400 plus interview question with the answers. Okay.
Yeah,
If you have not practiced SQL queries, I will give you the high frequency SQL queries with answers also, right? Pay
okay.
attention to only 10 days because now you will complete our entire sequel tomorrow, saying tomorrow we'll try to cover the last two bits, the security control language and the transaction control language. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. There is no concept hidden behind. So one session for that, and today the abstract data loading
Yeah,
objective, how do you do the ranking function, some abstract concept, and normalization, denormalization. That is what I'm planning to cover today, right? In that way, I will complete the total scenario of SQL Server, right? Then I will hand it off all the SQL question. Some
okay,
scenario
right.
we may not have taught even, right? And it is absolutely not possible to teach everything out in a class, right? It is a short span, and we will try to cover as much as possible that you will leverage in your interview and your day in, day out job. Now you have a platform where you know majority of the thing. Now you have to explore, start exploring What is this interview question? What does this particular question mean? If I don't find the answer, I'm not convinced. Do more Google, do more study, right? In that way, you know, high frequency question with the answers. Even if you don't understand, you can mug up for your interview preparation, right? Towards
One
the
question.
end of the session, yeah, go ahead, Pradeep.
In second highest salary is row number is mentioned RN equal to 2, RN equal to 3.
Yes,
Like
that is the
RN
best
equal to
approach. Yes, that is the best
mandatory.
approach of doing it.
The approach is best or any other approach.
There are many approach actually. There are many approach. It is not only the best approach. If you are using a ranking function, rank them depending upon the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then find out what is the second highest salary. Rank the second highest, number 2.
Yeah, RN
Rank the
equal to
third
2.
highest, equal to 3. Right? Once you use the ranking function, we'll see it today. Just allow me 10-15 minutes, you will see it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
if not, still I will give you for the same question. You will be happy to see all this question that you are asking. The question and the answers will be given. What I would recommend, I will give you all the 400, but now it is up to you. You go through the question, you understand the questions and answer, practice it well, remember the question, attempt it well in the interviews. That is what up to you, right? So starting tomorrow, you will get all the interview question related to SQL Server. I have covered majority high frequency question. If you have started appearing SQL interviews, you must have seen all the topic that we have covered, or I am saying is definitely there in the interview questions.
Yes.
There will be
Like
here and there tricky
sharing
question.
the last 30 to 40 questions in 2 times is the main questions.
Correct.
Question last time is the 40 questions one
Correct.
day in a second. Yeah.
Okay. So let us go back to the cut short of the discussion. Let's concentrate on the session,
Yeah, okay.
and we'll okay. And be rest assured, interview question will be handy. Don't worry about whether you are getting the interview question or not. Rest assured that you have understood the concept well. If you have missed some concept, I would highly recommend go through the recording. Everything is available, right? Even if still you are not able to understand, we are still going to repeat the similar kind of exercise during the postgre. You will understand the concept of procedure or something if you have missed. We'll do the same subquery, we'll do the same correlated subquery. The way of writing changes, right? You will see
Yeah.
what thing is changing, but the concept remains same. So be with me, go through every slide day, go through every interview question, you will be through without no time, within 1-2 months of time. Trust on yourself, give yourself the time to study, right? And you will be through within the interview process within maximum 2 to 3 months if you are abiding by the rules and standard. But if you are going haphazard, I don't understand, I am from non-tech, you will not be given 5 lakh or 6 lakh of salary, right? You have to have trust in yourself, fast build confidence. I'm not able to understand, fine, let me put in some more effort, let me put in, nobody else can teach you unless and until you want to get taught. That is a fundamental principle. Keep in your mind, it is not to you, Pradeep, for every other student that is there in the batch. Just open up your mindset. Not everything can be taught in the class, but sir has taught me something in the class. Let me revisit the audio again and again and again. If I still don't understand, I will ask the question. Okay, go with that mindset and you will see the success. Okay, let's come back to
Okay.
the exercise today. Our agenda is very random today. Will be studying about 3-4 concepts, but this is not a very like we have structured, like we have seen DQL, joins, abstract. So our fundamental would be today we'll be seeing some of the missing concepts, some of the 1G, 2G, which are here and there plugged in, but important for our understanding about the SQL. Okay, we'll understand what are the methods available during the data loading exercise. We'll understand the ranking function. Okay, what do you mean by ranking function? I didn't speak about the rank function, so I will talk about the ranking function today. And I will also talk about normalization if time permit. If not, then we'll continue from here. Normalization and denormalization concept. Okay. I didn't prepare my slide. Sorry about that. I will hand up a better slide after updating it. But we'll do the exercise. So in that way, you will understand. Do you remember, student, on the day one I showed you, or one of the student has a on the very first day or second day of the session, somebody of you has asked a question. I have a data file. I want to load that particular data file onto my SQL server. Is there a possible way to load the data file? I want to show something. Okay. Do you remember this will be your day in, day out exercise every day if you are joining as a SQL developer? or you are joining as a data engineer, your predominant day job looks like what? Understanding the data set, what the data structure look like, what kind of file I have to load the data from. Okay. uh, Creation of the content store or the table structure, creation of view or the procedures, loading the data from a separate file into the SQL server, and doing data analytics or data engineering around the data that is loaded into the SQL server. These are the 4 5 kind of exercise what you will be doing. What you will do, you will first go and understand some data stored in a file. Okay, just for the awareness sake, if you are able to see my screen, I have created a data file known as data.csv. Data.csv, I'm emphasizing .csv, not Excel. Okay, CSV is comma separated value file. Okay, I'm just trying to open this particular file with a notepad file. I will use notepad to open this particular file up. I will upload this file in the Slack. I didn't upload it yet. Allow me some time today to upload all these files. This is the file that is there on my local machine. What the file contain? ID, first name, last name. Three fields. Some name, we can add some more. We can add a few rows. For Pradeep, 4 comma, it is a comma separated value. Every value is separated from each other by a comma. That is why it is known as a comma separated value file. CSV, comma separated value. Okay, Pradeep. Then Pradeep, what's your last name? Is Pradeep Chaprala.
Chaparla.
CHAPAAR Chaprala. Okay. Now I will save this particular file just for the understanding sake. Now let us understand. We have a file which is a whose name is data.csv. It is a kind of CSV file, comma separated value file. What is the comma separated value? It looks like a Excel. If you open it by default, natively it will open up in Excel. Let me show you the Excel content. Okay, this is what the comma separated value look like. If you normally open it, it will open up in an Excel format, but it is not an Excel. Do remember, it is not an XLS file. Typically, Microsoft Excel format is a .xls or .xlsx if it is a 2007 onward format, right? Typically, you have seen those two kind of file format. You must have seen TXT file format. Similarly, a file format that contains the data and predominantly available in marketplace is known as a CSV file. Okay, our ambition today is to understand the exercise given to me is there is a comma separated value file available with the data called as ID, first name and last name, and I have to load this data from a CSV file that is lying outside into the SQL server. That is the objective that I want to achieve today. Okay, how do I do that? What I will do, first I will save the file. I have opened the file, so I will save this particular file out. Now this is the file. If you see, this is the location of the file. I will figure out where this particular location of the file is. So I will copy this particular path later on. Do remember, in SQL Server, there are two methods to leverage import data into SQL Server. I will show you both the method. There are three methods. I will not show the third method because it is confusing. It is available only to the administrator. So we'll not talk about that, but I will talk about the concept at least. Okay. The first method, do remember, in SQL Server, there is a method available known as bulk insert command. Okay. A bulk insert command you can leverage. Let us do the introduction. We'll say data loading. Leverage. I will not spend time in updating it. Please allow me time. I will actually update the slide deck and send to you. Data loading using bulk insert we'll study, and we'll use import export wizard. Okay, import export wizard. These are the two techniques we'll use to load the data today. Okay, let's see what the bulk insert wizard and the import export wizard look like. So there is a command available called as bulk insert in SQL Server. Using this particular bulk insert command, you can import the data from an external file. Okay, what is that particular command look like? Bulk insert into the new table name from the file with some options. I will talk about what that option look like. Okay, we'll see that and then we'll use it. Bulk insert table name from the file path with the option. Okay, let's go back into SQL Server. We studied that this data file look like this. The data file look like ID, first name, and last name. 3 fields are there. Is that correct? ID, first name, and last name. 3 fields are there. How do I load the data from this particular file? Let's go back. I know I need to create this is my bulk insert syntax. So what I would do, I would go back and say comment line. I will keep it here. Comment line over. We'll create a table called as employees1. Okay, do remember the table name is employees1. Create table employees1, ID, first name, last name. We'll use 3 field to insert this particular data into the table. Now let us create this particular table. The table is already created, so let me drop it. Drop table employees1. Semicolon, put it hyphen. Okay, my table, I want to create a table with ID, first name, and last name. Let's do it. I want to show the data that is available within the table. So I will say select star from the employees1. No rows of data available in the table yet. Okay, I don't have a table with the data rows available. Okay, now what I will do, I want to use, I know there is a command available known as bulk insert. So let us try using the bulk insert command to insert the data from this data.csv. Where the data file is located, this is my local path where this data.csv file is located. Okay, this is the local path where on my local PC, this is the path where the data is located. This is the local path, if you see. Where and here the data.csv. This is the CSV file where it is located. So I'm going into my SQL Server. I'm saying what? Bulk insert table name. This is the new table that I have created. This is the new table with ID, first name, and last name. Okay. Bulk insert table name from a particular CSV file, whatever the file is, with, I said with some option. Do remember, I said a CSV file is a comma separated value file. Is that understanding correct? Comma separated value. That means every value will be separated from each other by a comma. That is why the name is known as comma separated value. Okay. So here one separated from John. That means one is the ID, John is the first name, Doe is the last name. Jane is the first name, Doe is the last name. Lily is the first name, Bush is the last name, right? So in that way, the file is separated from each other. So what I'm passing here, I'm saying bulk insert into the new table name from the local file path with. With is the keyword where you will specify some parameters for the bulk insert. What you would specify? How the fields are terminated from each other. Field terminator. Field terminator means what? What is the terminator between fields? The comma separated field. So I will say field terminator is comma. Okay. Row terminator. Do remember in programming concept, if you are coming from a non-tech background, do remember a row terminator mean you are going to the end of the line and hitting a enter key to go to the next line. Is that understanding correct? In programming technology, enter key is represented by \n. In some technological term, it is also represented by \r, \n. Carry is written, carry is feed. Okay. Take a note for this, please. If you don't understand, you are coming from a non-technology background, do remember in programming languages or new line feed in say for an example, this is a new line feed. New line feed means what? A file open with notepad. You know, I'm going into this line, I'm hitting a enter key. I'm hitting a enter key, enter to move the cursor from one point to the other, right? When you hit the enter key, ideally enter key is represented as \n in programming consoles. So what I'm saying, the row terminator, you how to read this particular file? Every field is separated from each other by a comma, and every line is represented from each other by a \n. That means when you find a \n, you think that go to the next line. Now you start reading the next line. Do you remember the first row equals to 2? I'm saying the first row, the first line is the column of my table. I was opening that particular file. Well, the file. This is the file. Can you see the first line in the file is the column header? Is that correct? Row 1 is the column header. I don't want to import that column header into the table. I will say that this is where the row number 2 is the row from where the data I have to read. Row number 2 is the row from where I will be reading the data. And row number 1 is the first row that I don't want to read the data. So I'm saying save it. Okay. So now if I have to go back where it is here, yeah, the first row is located at the point number 2, right? So I'm saying that you read each of the field from each other. Wherever you find a comma, you separate them each other. Wherever you find a backslash n, you think that is the new line field or the end of the line, and first row is located in the point number 2. Okay, so we created a table. Now we'll use the bulk insert command. Bulk insert into new table, bulk insert new table from the file path, complete file path, the path and the file name included, okay, with the field terminator and row terminator. And I will do this. What it is saying, unexpected handle of file. Okay, students, please look at this particular error message. I will put this message in the chat window for your visibility. Whenever you encounter, it is a very common message or error you will encounter during your uh, bulk insert operation. Okay, look at this particular error. It is saying an unexpected end of file is located while you are trying to open a OLEDB to the bulk link folder. It is throwing an error. Do remember, it is an indication your file is still open. Whenever you see this particular kind of error, do remember the file is some or the other form opened. So I will go back and verify whether my file are closed or not. Okay, and what I will do is I will go back to the SQL session file. I will go back, open the file. Everything looks okay to me. I will close the file. I will open the data feed, open with notepad. I will verify whether the data feed looks okay. Yeah, I see I hit enter keys. That is where it generated me error. What I would do, I will say delete all the extra line feed from the file, please. Okay, I'm done. I will save the file. I will store the file, come back and run the code again one more time. Let's see. Yeah, 4 rows affected. That means what happened, I was showing that enter key, enter key, enter. There was some garbage character. What it do, it did first 4 rows it read well, but after that it couldn't find any comma, but it found new line field. So it was throwing error. Whenever it found an extra line field but no comma, it was throwing error that I am not able to read it. Okay, now I have loaded the data into the table. Let us verify whether the data loading has completed or not. Data is loaded completely. Is that correct? Data is now available within the SQL Server system. So how quickly we can load the data? Go create the structure like the Excel file or the CSV file. Create appropriate data type, whatever data you want to hold it within the DB system. Then what you would say, bulk insert into the employee from the corresponding file path where the field terminator is this, row terminator is this, and the first row position is this. If you don't provide the first row, it will throw error because you will try to insert a string value into the ID column. ID column is the integer type of column and it will throw error. Let's see. I will just change the 1 and let's see whether it is able to import it or not. Bulk load data conversion error because data type mismatch. Why? The first row contains the column name ID, but my ID column is the numeric column. So when I'm trying to import a string called as ID into the ID column, it is throwing error. That is why I'm saying that if you try to eliminate your column headers, you will say which location you want to load the data from. You will execute this and your data loading complete. Let's see, 8 rows of data came. Now can I abstract this entire concept within a procedure? We studied the procedure functionality. Now we have written a script that is able to do it. Within the script, we no need to write a go. Okay, I will eliminate all the go. I will say that now let us understand, why don't I create a procedure that will do the bulk loading for me? Okay, what I will do, create a procedure, create procedure name. I will give this syntaxes. Please keep it handy so that I should have actually uploaded, but I was not prepared for today. That's why we are going a bit random. Sorry about that. But then our topic is pretty limited. So we still will be able to catch up. So I have given the command. If you want to practice, you can practice from the chart window. You can copy the code and use it, please. Now, what I will do, create procedure, USP underscore, I would say upload, or I will say USP underscore upload employee record. Employee record. I will create a procedure like this, and I will say as, I will say begin, I will say end. This is how I write a procedure typically. Is that what we do to write a procedure? And we'll say end, because you have done a begin, that means you have to do an end. So what I will do, I will do a small operation here. I will do a tab to look at, to beautify it. And I know whenever I'm writing a procedure, the basic syntax I should use is some comment headers. I will say procedure. What is the name of the procedure? I will say developer. Then I will say date. I will say purpose. What is the name of the, what is the purpose of this procedure? Procedure will load data into table. Okay, that is the purpose of the procedure. I will write an example as in how to call this procedure. How do I call a procedure? Using execute statement. Execute and procedure name. Execute and the procedure name. If my procedure need a parameter, I have to pass the parameter as well, right? So I will do that. So we'll write some command stack here, complete star. So my header is done. So I have written some header. I'm saying create procedure, procedure name. I will say whatever loading you do, don't show me how many rows you have loaded. So no count on is used to chop off how many rows getting affected message. Done. I will be a bit smart enough. I will say what I'm doing. Okay. What I will do, I will write a command to verify if the table does not exist, you create it. How do I do that? If not exist. There is a metadata view available to identify how many tables exist. Select star from information schema dot tables. All the table names will be hosted within this particular schema. Do remember, information underscore schema dot tables contain all the list of tables available within the SQL. You want to verify if the table name does not exist, you create it. So use this particular syntax. I know if I call this particular system view and write where the table name not equals to whatever that new table name that I want to create. If the table name not equals to this, you create it. I want to write this statement. If not exist, then you go ahead and create it. Okay. I would say this statement. I will say print table already exists. Table, no. If you come to this block, you will say table created successfully. SUCCESSFULLY. Okay. Else, begin you have started means you have to end it. And always keep a tab so that you read it properly. And then we'll say else, if the table does not exist, if not exist, you create it, else you start loading the data. Okay. If table does not exist, you create it, else say table already exists. Table already exists. Okay. And say end, because else you are starting also. So you will say begin and end. Clear up to this point, students? Else begin end. I'm saying if the table name does not exist, you create it. If it exists, you skip it. Just print a message. Okay. Then you say whatever data is available in the data set, you show me first. You will say step one. You will do this way. You know, professional world, you will always try to do this. What you will do? You will say set. No, you will say step one. Step one. You'll say step one. Create the table. Create the table. Step 2, you will say step 2, display data in the table. Step 3, load the data into table. Step 4, verify the data loaded in the table. Done. I have created now a procedure. Whatever I did, I am now trying to wrap up all the code within a procedure now. Okay, this is a procedure that I am creating that will wrap the entire data set within the in this bulk loading exercise. Okay, let us see what it will do. I will drop the table first. I will do what? I will say you drop this particular table please for me. There is the employee 1. I want to drop this table. Delete. Okay, I deleted the table. Now I will go ahead and do nothing. I will execute the procedure. It is saying table already exists and invalid object name employees 1. That means there is some code error that happened. What I'm saying, if select star from information schema dot tables where table name not equal to employee 1, I should have said that table name equals to employee 1. I'm trying to check employee table and I'm looking for, I should have matched the data with the employee 1 data set rather than not equal to. So I used a programming error. I should have verified whether there exists a table called as employee 1, then you should have tried creating it, right? So because I said not equal to it, it tried matching, and if not exists match, there exists this particular condition with true. So it tried creating the thing. So it didn't create that thing and then started loading the data. Table didn't get created and it started loading data, and that is where the error is. So I found out the error. So I will say create or alter. This is the mechanism I should use to load the data into the system. So I did the changes now. Let me rerun the code. Yeah, first time it went ahead. It said DDL trigger. Yesterday we implemented a DDL trigger. Anytime we are doing a create alter drop, it is calling my DDL trigger. Now I printed a message also. Table created successfully. Can you see here? Table created successfully got printed. And after that, it started showing whatever data is there. Step 2, I was trying to show the data. So it showed there was no data available. Step 3, it started doing the data. It loaded the data into the table. 4 rows got loaded into the table. And the step 4, show me the data. Select star from employee 1. If I rerun the code again, it will load 8 more rows of data. It loaded. It started loading, and loading. Can you see? Once you create, you just call the procedure and your job done. One time you have created it, you multiple time you are running the same code. Can you see that? You are just calling this particular proc and it is loading the data for you indefinitely. That is the value of a procedure. You create one time, but you run it multiple times through just a name. And once you call the proc, it will run through all this code that is abstracted within this particular block. Clear up to this point, students? I'm just saving the script. Just allow me a second. It will be data loading, data underscore loading, data loading underscore SCSS session 22 dot no, session 22. Okay, data loading session 22. I'm going to Slack, uploading both the files for you just now. You can leverage this particular proc. Just allow me a second. I'm uploading it quickly for you. If you have your Slack open, you can find it now. +1 upload from my computer. Let me go back to the desktop. SQL session. Data loading and the data, both the script I am opened it and shared. You can download the file locally and you can test it now. Okay, now I have uploaded the file in the Slack. Please leverage Slack to get done. Any questions by far, student, to see what is the purpose of bulk insert command? Where is the question segment?
Sir, can you please explain again?
Whose question is this?
I'm Kalyan, sir.
Kalyan, what did you not understand? Tell me.
The statement if not exists, the condition what you have written.
Okay, what does if not exist do? Did you remember I explained it in other session? If is the condition, did you understand that? If is the condition and else is the condition. At least that part
Yes,
you
sir.
have clearly understood. If else
Yes,
block
sir.
we have studied well, right?
Yes.
What I'm trying to verify here, I'm trying to see you run through this employee, select star from this particular column, right? What I'm verifying, if I call the select star from information schema.tables, it will tell me what are the table name available inside my study database. What I want to verify, I'm writing a code to verify if the employee one table does not exist, you create it. If it exists, don't create it. Up to this line, are you clear? If the table does not exist, you create it. If it exists, don't create it. Because if you try to create it, it will throw error. Is that understanding correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
If the table already exists, I try to create the table, it will throw error. I don't want to do it. Every time I will run it, it will throw the error. I don't want to hit the error. What I want to say, if the table does not exist, you create it one time, later on you leverage, right? That is where I'm saying, if not exist what? We run the query, figure out whether there exists a table. There exists a table. Can you see that? If I run the
Yes,
query,
sir.
I'm seeing a record coming out with the table name employee one. So if not exist will fail. If not exist, there exists a record. So it will fail. It will go to the else block. It will say table already exists, right? So let me show you what it does. If I run through this code, it will say table already exists. Can you see that? It evaluated that if not exist is failing, so I have to hit the else block. That means the table already exists, don't create. Clear up to this point, Kalyan?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What other thing did you not understand?
That's it, sir.
Okay, fine. Any other questions, students? Anybody having any doubts?
Me, Pradeep.
Pradeep, go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. One
Mhm.
example like if exists and I drop the table and recreate the table example also,
Why not?
right?
Go ahead, let's do it. If exist, right? What now? If not exist, you create it. Now I will reverse the direction. What I will say, let's do it. What I will say, if exist, you drop the table. You want to do that, right? Drop table. If exist, drop the table this and
Employee one.
and and then create. Then you don't need to write the else block. Okay, you will say create table after that. You can do this also. Every time you will do it, it is a potential threat. That means what you will do, every time you load, previous data will be gone. Do you understand
Yeah,
that?
this
But we can
scenario
do
is
it.
use
We
cases.
can, we can do this test. Every time you do that, what it will do, it will find, it will drop the table. Table created successfully. First time it created the table, it told you 4 rows of data. Next time you run, the same 4 rows of data, same 4 rows of data, same 4 rows of data. I'm running multiple time. Why? Because your if exist is going and dropping the table previously created. If the table exists, it will drop it and then recreate it and then load it. Clear up to this concept? Which is a bad implementation. What you should do, if it does not exist, I should revert back the code because that is the right way of doing things. What you should do, if it not exists, then only you create, else move on. Correct? So in that way, you are not going to lose the data. First time, second time, it is going on. It is going on, right? You can see the data is getting loaded multiple times, right? Right way of implementing the code. Clear up to this point, at least up to the bulk insert, clear? Students, I have to complete one more. Clear, everybody?
Go ahead. Second.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now I will show you another method that is not a non-programmatic approach to load the code. Do understand and watch it. Okay. How do you do that? Go to the database where you want to load the data. Okay. Go to the database where you want to load the data. Right click on it. Right click on the database. If you want to do it alongside, please do it alongside so that you understand. I have uploaded the data.csv, locate the file also. So you remember that you are doing it. Right click on the study database. Just a second, please. Just a second. Okay. Now what you will do, right click on the database, then you will go to the task, then you will go to the import flat file. Can you see this option? I'm keeping it there. Go to the right click on the study database, go to the tasks, go to the import flat file. Can you see this option? Can somebody confirm? Are you able to see my wizards? Students, are you able to see the wizard?
So we
Anybody
can
can
see.
unmute and say, okay, fine. Now hit the import flat file option. Okay, it will start the wizard. Can you see? It is saying import a flat file into the study database. Right click on it. Location of the file to be imported. Go find out where the data is available. I know this data file is located here within my SQL session. I will go and look at this data file I want to import. I will select and say open. Okay. It is saying what will be your new table name that you want to import into. It is by default choosing your file name. The file name is data, so it is saying I will import into a data table called data. I said no, don't import into data table. You rather import into a table called as employee1. Employee 1 is already there, right? So I will say employee 2. You try to insert into employee 2, right? It will say which data schema you want to import, DBO. Next, it will show you the data. The data looks like this. Are you okay with it? Fine. Next, what is the default data type? See, SQL is smart enough to understand what kind of data it is having. It is able to understand it should be a tiny int because it is only having 4 rows of data. And tiny int contains data between 0 to 255. That is where it is able to identify it as a tiny int. It is going for a numerical varchar type of string type of data. It is going for a varchar type of data. Automatically, it identified your data type for you as well. Whenever it will create the table, it will create the table with this data type and signature. Okay. You want to set up a primary key, you can set up the primary key also. Automatically, it will create a primary key on the ID column. I'm choosing that. Please allow that particular primary key. You want to put a not null check, you can say, please do not allow any null value into this column in the first null, first name. I'm checking that. So automatically, this check will be in place. Next. Now I will do the finish. Inserted data successfully. Close. That means I use the utility called as import export wizard. Let's go back into my study database, go to the tables, refresh, and see there will be a table called as employee 2 will be created. Can you see employee 2 is created with the structure ID, first name, ID with a primary key sign. Can you see this icon, the primary key sign, first name, last name. You want to see the signature of the table? Go script table as create to new query window. You can see the table content. The way we created the table, SQL automatically created the table by analyzing the data for you. Okay. Let's see the table structure coming out. At times, a machine goes into a very, yeah, fine. Create table employee, ID tiny int, first name in varchar, and last name. So I checked that it is okay to have a first name null. I did a mistake. Last name by default is set to not null because I checked that you allow null for the first name. Okay, and last name become not null, and it created a primary key on my ID column because I said that you choose ID to be a primary key. Now I want to see the data from the table. How do I do that? Go and show me the data from employee 2 and go select star from employee 2. Employee 2. All the 4 rows of data imported. We'll do one more time. Okay. If you have not observed it carefully, please observe again. Go to the database where you want to load the data. Right click on the database. Go to the tasks. Under the task, there is an option called as import flat file. Go to the next. Locate the flat file. I have given you one country vaccination in one of the session, maybe 3-4 session down the line. I will try to upload the country vaccination now. I'm choosing country vaccination. Open the file. I'm saying you choose the table name to be my file name. You say country vaccination by manufacturer. Next. Automatically it loaded the data set. Location, date, vaccine, table vaccine. Next. Automatically choose the data type for me. Next. Load. All data inserted. I know there will be a new table loaded into my system. If you have not worked on that exercise, please now use this particular mechanism to load the data into the table and then start working on it. If you have not worked on the table vaccination, please work on it. It is a very important exercise you should finish. Okay. Go select star from country vaccinations. Data loaded. Whatever data was available in the particular Excel file, the location of the country name, on which date, which vaccination, how many vaccination observed, right? We can I easily identify that particular data set. Clear about this approach, students? Import export with that? Any
Can you
questions,
show
by the
how
way?
you got that syntax for the table what you created?
Can you say
Can you show how you got that syntax actually? How you for the table what you created?
how the
I just want to see the syntax, sir. Before you have shown us the syntax for the table you have created.
right click, no, right click on the table, go to the script table as. Can you see this option?
Yes, sir.
Right click on the table, go to the script table as, create to. Can you see this create to? New query
Yes, sir.
window.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Play around, students, play around. You have the you have SQL freely available. You have loaded this on the machine. Play around with the thing. Nothing will harm. What will happen? The SQL server will get corrupt. You will again download, you will reinstall, right? So play around the data structure. It will generate the code for you. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now let me see if I have time to show you one ranking function. Rank function will take some time actually, but then I can show you. Let me, or we can continue from here also tomorrow. I do have the table handy. I can give that script, but then go. I will create a table called as create table exam result. Say for an example, I'm creating a table called as exam result, name, subject, and mark. Name, who is name of the student, what is the subject, and this is the mark. 3 column I'm creating, inserting a few rows of data into the table. Okay. Showing some data set from the table, exam result. Okay, I have a few rows recorded in the table. Adam is a student who has scored 70 marks in maths, 80 marks in science, 60 marks in social science. Rak is a student who has scored maths 60, science 50, social science 70. Sam is a student who has scored in maths 90. If I have to ask a question, who has scored highest in math, who is the student? Sam, because Sam has scored in maths 90, Rak has scored 60, Adam has scored 70. Who is the highest scorer in maths? It is Sam, right? I want to I want to use I want to use a query called as the rank function available in SQL Server. That will give you the rank of the student in the class. Okay. Control V. This is a rank. What I'm saying, select name, subject, and mark. Then I'm using a function rank over. This is a complicated situation syntax. I would explain this tomorrow. I know that 5 minutes is not enough, but I will show what exactly it does. Can you see if I use this rank function over partition by name? I don't want to partition by name. I want to partition by marks. I want to show, tell me who is a good student. I want to partition the data by mark, order by the mark descending. Okay. You show me the data now. Perfect. If I rank them up depending upon by, I will rank them up depending on the subject. Partition by subject. Let's identify who is good at which subject. Okay. Let us see who is order by rank descending. Control C. Order by rank, then subject. Let's see. who is doing good in the subject? Sam is a very good student. Sam is scoring high in the maths. Sam has scored high in the science. Sam has scored high in the social studies. After that, Adam has scored second highest in maths, second highest in science, but then Rak has scored third highest, second highest in social science. Okay, so in social science, if you see, this guy is first in Rak is second in the social science, and Adam is last in the social science. If you want to actually rank the data depending upon a particular column, you can use the rank function to rank their position. And Pradeep, if you remember, you want to identify who is the highest salary, second highest salary, third highest salary, rank by salary. That's all. Rank by salary, automatically a rank will come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will say where rank equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the position is. That is the
The
easiest way
rank
to
by
do that.
salary and order by salary.
Yeah, I will talk about it. Actually, I will not end it here. I will give the code to you, practice it. We'll talk more about the ranking function tomorrow. We'll start from here. Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Because it is a complex situation. I just don't want to rush it. And it is an important concept also. So I have given the code for you, student. There is another also function called as dense rank. Okay. Control C. You can use the dense rank function. There is a row number function. There are three type of function available. If you see, there is a rank function, there is a dense rank function, there is an entile function. We'll talk about what these three functions do. Typically, they have typical parameter. So I will give the dense rank example here, and also I will give you the entile example here. This is the entile. Let me upload the same file one more time so that you have the entire code available. And this is row number also. We'll study from here. Okay. I don't want to rush. It is an important concept because you need to know this, and it is an interview question, so I can't skip it. So we'll continue from here. We'll start with ranking function. We'll complete the transaction control language and the security control language tomorrow. That would be our focus to complete the SQL there, and then we'll move into the PostgreSQL. Okay. I'm uploading the latest file in the Slack. Wait for the PPT. I don't have the PPT because it is a typical content where you know no need to have a PPT. That is where I didn't create, but I will write some content and load it for your self study. I have uploaded it in the Slack one more time.
Raghava, what is the third method in uploading the data? You are explaining two methods.
There is one code available known as BCP. Just do remember there is a concept known as bulk copy. It is an admin command. I will show you how to do it. Straightforward syntax, but it is an administrator command. You will never be able to execute it in any environment. Do remember, BCP stands for bulk copy. It is an SQL administrator command. You have to use it from the SQL CMD. I will explain it tomorrow. Okay. I will show you. You may not be able to do it because with the free version, the console is also not available. I will show you from a different environment, and the syntax is pretty straightforward. I will write that out here, BCP in SQL Server. Study about this particular article. This is having the definition of a BCP. I've given this in the chat window. Please use this link and study more about the BCP. It is an utility. It is a system admin utility. Okay.
Yeah.
Using the only the system admin can use it. If you are a normal developer, you will never be able to use it. From your Synapse Analytics, you cannot use it. From SSIS packages, you will not be able to use it. The command syntax is straightforward. Okay. What it looks like, this looks like this. Control V. Okay. What it says, BCP to the table out from a data file. Say for an example, our data file is the .dat or a .csv. From that, then you will say which is the server name, what is the database name, what is the user ID, what is the password. You connect it and then load the data from the file and do it. I will show you. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I will show it, but you study about this. I have given you the link, so please study. Okay. BCP you will never use in your programming world, so be rest assured that you will never be writing a BCP command in your life. Do know, if people ask you whether you know any third method, say there is an administrator command available known as BCP that stands for bulk copy, and you can run it from the SQL CMD mode. If you are an administrator, you can do it. So I will show you if you are a database admin, how you will leverage tomorrow. Okay, 3 methods: bulk insert, right click, import export wizard, BCP. Clear? These are the 3 methods you should leverage to do the data import into the SQL Server. Okay, students, any questions? Anybody?
One more question. Actually, before moving to post-clear, can we export any clarification?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that definitely. If you have any doubt, I would say that post every doubts in the Slack today or tomorrow maximum, because tomorrow is the last around the SQL. Post all your doubt question over there. If possible, I will try to answer it over the Slack itself. If not, then I will actually go into a session to explain it out. Whatever questions you have, whatever doubts you have, come prepared and ask it. And I would rather say you post it in that way. Say for an example, I may not have answers also, right? In that case, I will come prepared with the answer and give you the explanation. Okay, perfect. Talk to you later, students. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Yeah, Monday is hard.
I don't know management. Check with the management, please.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Talk to you later.
Thank you.